Welcome back. All right, this is my fourth try at this. If this one doesn't work, I'm just gonna say, you know what? Today's not the day to discuss this. So I've been watching the situation with Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, of course, I still think it's the biggest channel on YouTube. And the hits that have started to come in, and what's interesting is there was a point where he was kind of considered to be like he was the nice guy. He was the nice guy. He was the one that did all these really good things for other people. Now, nobody's perfect. Nobody is like, an angel in everything they do. So was I thinking that there'd be a downfall at some point? Sure, on some level, maybe. I didn't expect as many controversies to come out at the same time. I'm not going to get into the people who work with him, people around him, and the controversies that have been there. To me, that is an aside. Although it does show that it is really important to make sure that anybody you have associated with your channel cannot and will not hurt your brand. The only person associated with this channel is my wife. My wife helps with the social media side of things, email, person like DMs and all that stuff. Because I want to focus on the videos, I want to focus on the creation part, and it's a lot. It can be a lot. So for me, it is kind of a, I guess, a mom and pop kind of setup, right? It's my wife and I. I've thought about hiring other people at times. I've thought about like bringing in an editor for certain videos, but I haven't done it. I have felt like the setup that I have works. It works for me. People know my videos. They know my style. They know it is a sense of comfort of 8 years of making these videos. It's comfort for me. I think it's comfort for the viewer. Now, when I'm watching what MrBeast has been, and again the personnel side of things aside, and all of that's very troubling. But like it's did it start with the burgers where he was selling these burgers through what's called ghost kitchens? So you order through online a restaurant that doesn't actually exist. That it's a brand where it's being made in a kitchen, yes, but it's not a real restaurant. You can't actually go to that restaurant and sit down and have a meal because it technically doesn't exist. It's a ghost kitchen, and they can be dodgy. Like there are ghost kitchens here locally. I don't order from places that I find out are ghost kitchens, and sometimes just when you get the order, you're like, "This is a ghost kitchen, isn't it?" And it can be frustrating because maybe the product's not very good, may not be packaged very well, and yeah, it's one of those things. So when I heard about his burgers and these burgers, the quality isn't any good, and then I heard it was coming out of ghost kitchens, I thought, well, yeah, you're gonna have some locations where it's great and some locations where it's awful. So I kind of felt like he probably should have thought this through before he put his name on things. But when you look at YouTube and of course ad revenue being down, for me it hasn't been down nearly as much as it feels like it has been for some other people who talk about it a lot. But those people usually have much bigger channels and they have a full staff. They have a full staff. So like if I experience a downturn in money, and I have, the last couple of months both channels have made the least amount of money they have since 2020. So I have to go back 4 years to find months that have performed as badly on the hockey channel and this channel as they have the last couple. But that comes down to, I know with the hockey channel, two things have hurt it. One, it's been a very quiet off season. There hasn't been any really earth shattering moves. The earth shattering news was the passing of Johnny Gaudreau. The video that I made on the passing of Johnny Gaudreau got over 150,000 views, but I did not monetize it. So I made $0 off that video. YouTube will let you know what you would have made on that video, and it would have made a huge difference. But again, I'm not going to go in and monetize a video just because, like, oh, finally something's happened. Let's throw ads on this, and I'm not going to care about the brushback for making a video where it's making ads, so I'm making money off of somebody passing away. And I mean, that's a debate we can have at another time. Sure, we've had that debate on the main channel before, but that is my stance. I'm not going to change it. I won't. Even if 95% of the viewers go, you know what? He deserves to make some money for this video. I don't see it as being disrespectful. That other 5% can be really loud, and I'm fine with saying, all right, I'm not going to make money on that. But when that money drops like that, it affects me. and my family, but it doesn't affect others outside the family. I don't have to sit somebody down and go, so we're laying you off. I'm not going to sit down with one of my cats and say, all right, I'm sorry, we have to let you go, and just put them out the front door. Be like, I'm sorry, my income's dropped, there's nothing I can do. Or one of the rabbits, sorry, rabbit, we're going to just leave you here because we can't afford, so I don't have to worry about having those conversations. I don't have a problem with people doing tie-ins and sponsorships. I avoid them as much as I can. I get the emails every day. I know that a lot of the people asking me, hey, can you sponsor us, don't watch my videos. They don't have a clue who I am. They don't give a damn who I am. And it's just about, can you hawk our wares? And my answer is always no. No. The only exception has been over the last, I want to say it's been 5 years since I even started pushing anything. And it's just a quick little giveaway short that I made. Um, and I don't do very many shorts, which YouTube, pokes at me about every now and then, but they don't make money. Like, I think I've made like $3 off shorts in the last month. Like, they don't. I know there's channels that do well. My contact at YouTube told me that. She's like, nope, I know somebody who does shorts every month and they make like over, I don't know, it's like 30,000 a month or something. And I was like, how? Like, you'd have to get so many views to make that kind of money. But if they can, kudos to them. I can't. So it doesn't really make much sense for me to do them. But again, I'm trying to do them here and there, probably in part because the numbers on the channel have been kind of low, and so I'm trying. But now for MrBeast going through that means he's probably gonna have to lay people off or something of that nature. Plus, the amount of time and the budget he puts into every video is huge. It's huge. So not only does he have the pressure of maybe his income coming down a little bit, but each video kind of has to be better than the last, kind of, sort of, and YouTubers want each year to be better than the year before. They want to make sure their videos are better. I know that the videos I was making back in 2018, there's no way I would publish any of those now. If those videos were sitting somewhere in drafts and I went, oh, I forgot to publish this one, I would probably watch it and go, no. But I might take that topic and rework it on a board now and do a video on it now, because I know I have a better set, I have better audio, I have a better camera, and I think I'm a better presenter now than I was back in, say, 2018 or 2017, and definitely better than back in 2016. But the the platform as it is, it builds people up and then they get knocked down, and it feels like they get knocked down for, and again, I'm thinking about this from a point of view of, I've heard things when it comes to MrBeast in recent videos and about his personality and how he may not be so happy-go-lucky off camera. Well, nobody's that happy-go-lucky off camera. But at the same time, I'm not going to make excuses either. The game show stuff that's come out is going to be interesting, because if it's a $5 million grand prize that people are fighting over, that the show has to do well, and it's Amazon putting it out, right? So it has to do really well on Amazon Prime. But with what I've heard about it, I'm not going to watch it. So I know I'm not going to watch it. And I wonder if there's other people out there too that are saying, if they treated people this way, well, I don't want to watch that, because you don't want to encourage them so that they do it again. So be like, all right, well, let's do it all over again. And again, it's not a YouTube thing. So here he is out here, not on YouTube, not on the platform where he's going to be making a lion's share of his money, doing something that's hurt his brand. And NDAs and all that fun stuff are going to prevent probably it becoming a lot worse, because people don't want to get sued and have the NDAs come back to bite them. One thing to keep an eye on is that reality TV as we know it could get shaken to its core, because those NDAs are being challenged by former contestants on a couple of different shows I know about. So in the case that the courts say, you know what, this NDA is just meant to hide really bad treatment, and the way you treated these people, borderline illegal. So I think that this NDA, yeah, we got to throw this out. This is, and again, I'm not sure how that would work. I am sure that lawyers help them write them all up, but at some point in time, a lawyer's going to tear that down, and I think it's going to change reality TV. One example would be, and this is a little bit of a tangent, but I'm going somewhere with this, as it ties into this reality TV ball and everything. But watching Love Is Blind Mexico, and it's always interesting to me to watch international versions of shows because every culture is different, and so the way people behave is different. Like after all these Love Is Blind, I'm going to watch the Japanese version because I know the Japanese version is going to be completely different than the one from Mexico. Brazil's different. The U.S., the U.K., Sweden, they're all completely different. It is so interesting to watch how people court one another in different cultures and how that works. But there was one couple on Love Is Blind Mexico that they broke up. They do the whole, they fall in love through the wall, and he proposes to her and she says yes, and then they get on in the romantic getaway part, and it's just not there. It's hitting a brick wall. It's not there. And so they broke up. They're like, all right, so we're done. So then they're seen at like a reunion thing that they had about, I think it's 7 episodes into the season that we are right now, and all of a sudden they're not together, but they're smiling at each other. And what happened was, so they right in front of the cameras, like, we're done, just take the microphones off, we're done. And as soon as they left, she calls him, like, hey, you want to have a beer? You want to get together and hang out? Yep. Without the cameras, they got back together and they're getting along great, because cameras can make things a lot worse. And it's a debate that I have had with my wife multiple times, where I just pause the show and go, okay, if there's no camera, there's no way they're going to say that. If there's no camera, there's no way that conversation goes that way. So at some point in time, I think what's going to happen with reality TV is that the idea that you can treat people like crap, that you can spy on them in their bedroom and the bathroom, I think that's going to go by the wayside. I do. That's my prediction, is at some point, and it'll turn the whole industry on its head, but it should be better for people that are on the shows. So when I hear about how people are being treated on this MrBeast game show, is it acceptable? No. No, it's not acceptable. It's getting a lot of attention because it's his show. And hopefully it draws attention to other reality shows, and people start saying, okay, wait a minute. Is this okay? Are these things okay? One reason I like watching The Circle, I know those people are not in any kind of trouble. The Circle is just, you're in an apartment and you participate in chats. You might play as a catfish, you might play as yourself. That's up to you. But it's a social game. It's all mental. There's no eating bugs. There's no jumping out of airplanes. There's no danger to the people on the show. And what I was reading was, when you're eliminated, you have to stay in the apartment, but you can watch TV, you can listen to music, you're just basically sitting around waiting until the finale rolls around. That's fine. And I haven't heard anything bad about the way people are treated on that show. So even though at times The Circle can be frustrating, and I'm frustrated with how this season's going, very frustrated. The people I'm rooting for are getting knocked off one after one after, and I'm to the point now where I'm like, I don't even care who wins. They're all jerks. I don't even care who wins now. But I know those people weren't mistreated, and I know they're all friends outside of the show, and that stays, and that you make friends for life. But it does make a difference, and this is where, for MrBeast, coming back to that, it's going to reflect on him even if he had nothing to do with it. It's going to reflect on him, every decision that was made on this show, even if it had nothing to do with him. Atozi, one of the channels that I follow, there's an interview that he had with somebody who was apparently a contestant on the show, and he digitally changes the guy's voice, to cover for him for his NDA. But this guy really, really seems like he is perfectly fine with all of these awful things that were done to people on this show. And he just glosses everything over. So when you go in the comment section, it's all, I can't believe you posted this interview. This person is making excuses. Why did you conduct the interview like this? This person clearly is either somebody who works on the show, or he was planted there, which has been an accusation as well. And again, this is part of the reason why I've never looked to expand myself beyond where I am. Because people have assumed that, like, well, at some point, Shannon's going to want to do this, or he's going to want to get into that, or he's going to... No. I have a simple formula that works. I have a large following. To me, it's a large following by YouTube standards. It's a quaint channel. You know, it's not in the millions. It's a quaint channel. It's doing all right. But I look at what goes on when YouTubers go outside of YouTube and they do other things. And my first thought is there's a lot of risk to that, isn't there? You know? So, like, if somebody came to me and went, hey, let's do a THG TV show. Great. Cool. What are we going to do a TV show on? And, you know, might come up with a great concept. And then in practice, it bombs. And bombs badly. And then what does that do to the channel? How much time did I spend away from here, not able to do my usual job, to do that? And it's a disaster. So that's something I keep in the back of my mind. I don't want to go through that. But I'm never surprised by hearing that certain YouTubers, you know, they're not that all that great off camera. There's a lot of stress that can come up, and there is definitely a certain amount of ego that goes into being, you know, on social media, and you know, going, all right, you know, is anybody going to watch this? And standing in front of a camera like I do, or you do TikTok videos every day, that kind of thing. There's a certain amount of ego there. There is definitely a certain amount of I mean, narcissism seems to be a strong term, but it's the only one that I can think of. There's at least a certain amount of that, I think, in almost anybody on YouTube who has a certain amount of following. And it is something that you have to make sure is completely under control. If I ever got to a point where narcissism slash ego took over, it's done. That would be the absolute worst case scenario. I keep myself humble by remembering I had 20 years of crappy jobs. And if something happened with YouTube, I'm going back to a crappy job. I don't qualify for, like, you know, office manager. I don't qualify for, oh, I can't just walk into a hospital and go, hey, can I be a doctor? I think it'd be great if I could be a doctor. Like, I you know, I need doctor. Can I have doctor money? Like, it's just not a thing, right? So it is something that definitely keeps me humble. I'm aware of what's out there. I'm aware of what can happen. And sometimes with YouTubers, I don't think they understand, because they become famous in their teens. They become famous in their early 20s. It's kind of like, hey, cool. This is my life now. And it doesn't necessarily last. It just doesn't. It's not a thing. It does not necessarily last. I'm glad that the channels that I have are not based on a fad. I'm glad that I can, you know, change what I'm talking about on here. I can change the topic to whatever I would like, because this channel is for everything that's not hockey. And on the hockey channel, if it's a hockey topic, I can cover it. There's some documentaries coming out. I'm going to cover those on the main channel. But it's so important to me that I don't get into what I see others getting into. So I don't have visions of having like a big staff. I don't even have visions of someday going, hey, so this is Bert. He's going to be the new host of these videos, and bring somebody in who's going to host certain. Oh yeah, no, this will lighten my load. Nope, that's not what people came to the channel for. And so it is important to me that I keep it as a channel where it's my videos, my content, and that I know what's been said on the channel, so I don't have to go, wait, what did he say in his video? Oh, I'm gonna have to clean that up, aren't I? Okay, cool. And so I don't have to worry about that. I can't imagine how some of the bigger channels do it. And especially once you've got staff and everything, I can't imagine the amount of frustration that they would have. So we'll see how far, or we'll see how long this affects MrBeast's channel and what he does to pivot here to try to salvage everything. But it is the latest. I remember when Tobuscus, his channel started to have troubles because there were personal things, not related to the channel or his content necessarily, that started to affect how people viewed him. And then, I don't know, the content got kind of stale. Once he got past, like, the Happy Wheels videos, once those kind of ran their course, it was like, all right, I've seen everything I can see on here. there wasn't a whole lot else there. And again, I don't have to worry about that with hockey because there's always trades, there's firings, there's always stuff going on, and the league changes from one year to the next. It is not a static thing that people can look and go, I mean, hockey was great, 2 years ago, but it's still the same thing that it was. Nobody ever gets traded. We talk about that during the regular season, but then a bunch of trades happen at the trade deadline. So yeah, I think I'm pretty fortunate. Also very lucky that my significant other totally gets what I'm doing here and understands, because that's a huge difference um, between what I have and what I could have potentially had. And having somebody that supports me it gets me through the day to day. But we'll see what happens with MrBeast and whether or not that affects, because again, advertising dollars can be affected depending on what comes out and depending how far this goes. Um, and so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I'm not declaring that he's the evil one and all these bad things. I just think he's put his name on things, and these projects they can be challenging. And so like I've even thought about doing like, I mean, I love the traders. I've even thought like, could I come up with something where I have like a modified version of that, something hockey related, and just have some fun with it. And so I don't want to do something where somebody goes, hey, that's too close to traders, it's copyright. And B, I don't know if I did something like that if people would be like, oh, I'm not interested in this, sorry, bye. So I always think about that kind of stuff, and then I think, okay, but would that help or hurt? Would that help or hurt things? So we'll see. Like for instance, I'm thinking about getting NHL 25 and doing a little bit of playthrough stuff on it, but not everybody enjoys that content. When I used to do streams from the NHL games, not everybody liked it. So, and not everybody's gonna like anything, but if it's different content and people are like, I don't really want to be subscribed for that content, I have to weigh everything. It can get crazy in my brain because I will go back and forth and back and forth on these things. But in the end, I usually decide, all right, what I'm doing right now works. So, yeah, I would like to thank people for their support of the channel over the last 8+ years. Of this channel as well. So for people who have subscribed to this channel, welcome, thank you. It's greatly appreciated. And I really love having the second channel where I can talk about anything like this. And I'll continue to keep an eye on what people are doing on other platforms. I would like to be able to build up my presence on TikTok a little bit. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that in a way that it's going to be worth the amount of time that I need to put in, because you have to do like I think it's 3 live streams I have to do before I can get any kind of monetization of anything. And then because I'm in Canada, I don't directly get monetization through TikTok. It's this whole thing with Canada. But yeah, so I'm looking at it. I'll work through it. But in the meantime, I will be in here making videos for all you fine people on the internet. And apologies for not doing videos more on this channel than I have been. I want to keep making videos for this channel as much as I can. And who knows, maybe I end up doing shorts on this channel and doing it that way. So we'll see. But thank you guys for your support throughout this journey. And yeah, outside of every now and then, maybe I'll be hawking a book here and there that, again, I make no money on. Nobody's giving me any money for. I'm going to stay out of all the sponsorship stuff and all of the. There won't be a THG burger. I apologize, but there won't be, because I can't. I could not imagine a product with my name on it and then somebody going, hey, this is absolute garbage, and it's got your name on it. Just wanted to let you know, or hey, my brother ate the burger. He ended up having to go to the hospital because E. coli. So, and so all these nightmare scenarios play in my head, and I just wouldn't do it. But there you go. Now I'll wrap things up. Thank you guys for all your support. If you haven't already hit like and subscribe, please do. And yeah, it's been an incredible journey for over 8 years now, and I'm excited to see where the next 8, 16, 20 years, I don't know. As long as I'm able to stand here, and even if I can't stand, if I can get a chair in here and sit here, as long as I'm mobile, I'll be doing videos in here. And if I ever become immobile, I'll just, have a spot here. And yeah, don't tell my wife that I plan on turning this into the bedroom if I ever was immobile for any reason. But, all right, I'm immobilized. Okay, so bedroom is now on the set. I don't know that she'd be all that happy with that. But anyways, there you go. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It is greatly appreciated. The number one thing that I would say to some of the bigger YouTubers is find humility, man. Find that humility and understand that you have this audience, and it's really really important to maintain that connection with the audience no matter how big things get. That's why I read the comment section. I know a lot of bigger YouTubers don't read the comment section at all, but I do. And it's part of that. I need to stay connected to the audience because that to me is really important. The moment that I'm not connected, that I'm just posting and I don't care, all the bots can have at her. Why? So every time a video goes live, I'm right there. I'm like, block, 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 all the bots right away, gone. And then there'll be some comment. I can't believe all these bots. What bots? I just got rid of all of them. Stop complaining. But anyways, there you go. The endless battle on YouTube. Thank you guys though for helping me with the battle. I will talk to you again soon.